And this is a good fight because we've got Serbia up against Armenia here. AMETOVIC against HARUTYUNYAN, and two fighters who medalled in last year's European Championships. HARUTYUNYAN picking up silver at 48 kilos. He's 0-1 in IBA.PRO, lost 4 rounds to 2 last October in Armenia against Anvar Kodjev.
Idemo sada na zlatni ugao, pripremite vaše dlanove. On je talentovan mladi borac, ovo je njegov profesionalni debi, ali iza sebe ima impresivnu amatersku karijeru. Predstavnik Srbije, da vas čujemo, Omer AMETOVIC!
And as I described, AMETOVIC is a bit of a star of Serbian boxing because he's been doing well for a long time now. He got a European Junior bronze, that was a while ago, but I saw him plenty in 2021. He got to the quarterfinals of the World Youths, the quarterfinals of the under-22s. I was at both of those. He boxed at the World Championships in the seniors in 2021 and 2023, and then last year made the breakthrough with a bronze medal at 51 kilos at the European Championships.
Dakle, u crnom uglu predstavnik Jermenije, 35 godina, 171 cm je visok, namjeri do 50,7 kg. IBA.PRO rekord mu je za sada bez pobjede samo jedan poraz, a na drugoj strani u zlatnom uglu Omer AMETOVIC iz Sombora, reprezentativac Srbije, 23 godine, 157 cm visok, 183 cm raspon ruku, 50,8 kg. Kao što rekao, profesionalni debi, ali on je petostruki šampion Srbije, bronzavica evropskog šampionata, seniorska bronza također i 3 evropske U22 medalje. Pozdravimo još jednom Omera AMETOVIća! Naš sudijski trojac, Valerij Pastuvkov, Moldavija, Sergej Žurkin, Rusija i Marija Petković, Srbija. Da čujemo sada gospodina Bagrata Avajana, sudiju iz Jermenije, šta će poručiti borcima pred meč.
So they're scheduled for 4 in the flyweight division. Touch of gloves between the two. AMETOVIC in the white, HARUTYUNYAN in the black. Just pawing a bit with the jab there, HARUTYUNYAN. A little bit messy in the early stages here. These two just falling into a clinch, getting a hold of each other. When you look at them physically, HARUTYUNYAN is the taller, the leaner of the two, even though at last year's Euros he actually boxed at the lower weight. Cheeky little right-hand side on the inside there from AMETOVIC. And then looking for that big windmilling overhand right there, HARUTYUNYAN from well out of range, didn't manage to land it. AMETOVIC just yet to find his distance. As you can see there, nice and nimble on his feet. But he's got to find a way to get close here, because throwing that right hand from that far out, he's not going to make it. Lead left hand to the body there from AMETOVIC. Into the final minutes of round 1. A professional debut for the Serbian. As I mentioned, HARUTYUNYAN has had 1 fight in IBA.PRO. HARUTYUNYAN just backing AMETOVIC up here, doing a good job of it as well, just planting those feet and looking to get on top of him on the ropes. Bell goes at the end of round 1. I said this would be a good match between these two, and it's proving to be that at the moment.
One of the leading bookmakers in the Bet City mobile app. You'll find an extensive range of betting options and some of the bet odds on any sporting event. Choose Bet City and feel the thrill of the game.
Good left hand there from AMETOVIC. Leading off with that, he had success with it a couple of times. So into the second, and that's a good angle of them side on. You can see the physical differences between them. HARUTYUNYAN, plenty of movement with those lead hands. AMETOVIC as well, you see him in and out with the feet, on the balls of his feet, toes of his feet, almost all of the time. So there's quite a lot of movement here between these two. HARUTYUNYAN looking to try and distract you almost with the way that he moves that lead hand, gets the guard in tight there. AMETOVIC just needs not to be distracted by any of that, because he did find that gap with the left hand in the opening round particularly. HARUTYUNYAN trying to snap out the jab. I don't think there was anything wrong with that. I don't think the referee had called break. They just kind of let each other go and decided between themselves to break. And there's a good, solid right hand there from HARUTYUNYAN. AMETOVIC put down. I think he was caught slightly square as he came forward, was rocked onto his heels. Wasn't really set or braced to take the punch. And down he went. Midway through round 2. And that makes things tricky for him now. I would say that HARUTYUNYAN may have won that opening round, although there wasn't an awful lot in it. And should he lose this round with the knockdown, then it could be a long way back. And HARUTYUNYAN, I think, feels like he could really make an impact here. Long right hand from him again. Lands. No knockdown this time. Into the final minute of round 2. There's that long right again. Dips in behind it. Right hand on the inside there from AMETOVIC was a good shot. And it's a good fight this. Harutюnyan is really going after Ametovic here. Leaning in, just trying to dig that left hand into the body. Ametovic trying to tuck up and then explode out of that shell. Harutюnyan determined to stay on top of him. He's put a lot into this round, the Armenian. Last 10 seconds. Left hand to the body was a good shot there from Harutюnyan, then finishes with the 1-2 up top, and that was a good round for him. Ametovic had his moments, but Harutюnyan upped the ante, put him down. Hopefully we'll get a replay of the knockdown, and then just try to stay on him as much as he could for the rest of the round and really hammer home that advantage. That was the right hand that landed. That's a better angle of it, and he was just off balance. They've been having a little bit of a wrestle, and you can see he shrugged him off really, Harutюnyan. Nothing wrong with it at all. Then landed the right hand. He didn't really have his balance. He was a little bit square, and he ended up going down. It wasn't a heavy knockdown, but it was certainly a legitimate knockdown. So Ametovic, I think, here with it all to do, with a couple of rounds to go, looking for that jab. It's a tool that you would imagine that he would have, Harutюnyan, when you look at the size of him. Amazing how he manages to pack that frame into 48 kilos. He managed it last summer anyway. This fight at almost 3 kilos heavier than that, which is around about 6 pounds. So a big difference, a lot more weight to play with, and he looks nice and strong. Was out of range with that right hand, but followed it in, committed with it, and then turned it into a left hand, and then a kind of smearing right hand again there from Harutюnyan. Ametovic is trying to fight fire with fire here. Work rate wise, he's got to go with him. He's got to at least work as hard as him. He cannot get outworked in these final couple of rounds. It's all very well looking to pick your punches and try and find the gaps, and composure is important, but in some fights, particularly over this short format, you cannot afford to leave anything in the tank, really. It's a sprint over these 4 rounds. Again, it's quite untidy when they get up close like that. Harutюnyan has got these long levers, and for Ametovic, sometimes it's difficult to extricate himself. And Harutюnyan, for a tall guy, as tall guys sometimes can, he's just able to find that little bit of room to give himself space for those long levers. Left hand from Harutюnyan. Ametovic looking to try and work to the body into the final 30 seconds of the round. And Harutюnyan again just swaggers across the ring at him. Ametovic turns southpaw, standing square almost, fires 2 jabs with different hands in the space of a couple of seconds. Good right hand into the body there from Ametovic. Harutюnyan trying to work the same punch. But I think again Ametovic has probably been outworked in round 3. So 1 to go here. It's been a good fight this. It was a good matchup from the beginning. So touch of gloves between the two as we head into this fourth and final round. Harutjunyan in the black, Ahmetovic in the white. Ahmetovic, for me, badly needs this final round, and even then that might not be enough. Harutjunyan with a knockdown in the second has found a decent rhythm from quite an early stage. He's quite an awkward fighter due to the height and the reach and the quite twitchy, jerky nature of his style at times. The referee said break, and what Harutjunyan was trying to do there was break, create a bit of distance, and then punch, and there wouldn't have been anything wrong with that. Ahmetovic had maybe just slightly switched off there. And Ahmetovic has just struggled with the distance. It's as simple as that. He struggled to get inside that longer reach of Harutjunyan. Tries to jab his way in there, Ahmetovic, but then cops a right hand. And the work rate of Harutjunyan has been formidable. Slightly messy the last 30 seconds. Nice combination there from Ahmetovic. Rattled off the 1-2, then looks to try and get after Harutjunyan, who just backed up there and gave some ground. Closing stages of what has been a good fight, one that Harutjunyan has dominated, and a little bit of icing on the cake with that knockdown in the second round. And he celebrates Harutjunyan, and there is every reason that he should, because he knows that he's done enough there. He started well, started quick, and Ahmetovic, having been caught on the hop a little bit, just never really managed to catch back up with him, and that's the problem you have in the 4-round fight in that short distance. It's very difficult if you get off to a poor start or a slower start than your opponent to stem that tide and turn it in the time that you've got, and particularly if you get knocked down in the second round like he did, then you find yourself at the halfway stage with an awful lot to do, and try as he might, and he definitely did try. Harutjunyan had the wind in his sails, his confidence was up, and that momentum was with him, and as I say, over the course of 12 minutes, when somebody gets that momentum early, shifting that is a difficult thing to do.
Dame i gospodo, uzbudljiv meč smo gledali, sudijama nije bilo lako. Posle 4 runde imamo nerešen rezultat. It's a draw.
Well, it's been judged a draw, and HARUTYUNYAN I don't think can quite believe it, nor can I, because that was an easy fight to score. HARUTYUNYAN won that fight comfortably, and that is a poor job by the judges. He's shaking his head there, AMETOVIC, and he sportingly raised HARUTYUNYAN's